I am standing between you and 22, right? We're going to bring it home. This is the after party after the after party. This is when we really get down and dirty. But anyhow, so I'm going to say good evening, beloveds, because that's how my grandmother used to welcome people into her sphere. And beloved meant that she was pleased to see you. And if no one said that they were pleased to see you today, tonight, this morning, whatever time it is, I've lost all track of time. I really have. What tomorrow, yesterday, before. If no one said that they were pleased to see you, let me say that I am here to say that I am pleased to see you. And I am here to tell you that at the ripe old age of 60, I stand as a work in progress. And I'm going to hopefully share with you how I'm redefining the word selfish in a positive definition. I'm going to try at least, right? Because selfish and the selfish act is self-care. It is purposeful, it is intentional, and it is the stewardship of me. And so, like anything that we do, I have to formulate that muscle memory, right? If we're ever going to get it right, you got to keep doing it. And I'm formulating that muscle memory because I want to protect my well-being. And that's not an option. And because of that, I have vowed that my peace will not be broken because you are at war with yourself. Because I'm living my life like it's golden. Now let me take you a little bit on my journey. Now this all started with a media post, and it started with an autocorrect, and some of you have already heard me tell this story, but it's okay, I'm gonna tell it again, because most of you haven't heard it. And it started with an autocorrect for the word October, and it changed to the word octopus. Now, I don't know why that word octopus, it hit me to my core. It hit me in my soul. And I replied, I feel strangled and voiceless. And that summed up for me not only that week and its endless Zoom meetings, but it summed up for me many events that made me feel strangled and voiceless. As I grieved with families who wished their loved one was judged by 12 rather than carried by 6. And even when judged by 12, gave lives in an unjust system only to be found the one thing they already were, innocent. With protests against systemic racism and police brutality where Black and brown and Asian bodies are not valued, whether in motion or at rest. And I look at my sweet, smart, funny, loving, exasperating 16-year-old son. And I pray to God that he takes me and I get to see his face, and that my child lives the life that he so richly deserves. Ooh. Changing geopolitics, climate change, gender injustices, and body autonomy hovering around the times where we women were considered chattel property. And we know the structural injustices of women of all nationalities tend to suffer from more poverty, overwork, deprivation, insecurity, whether it be food, financial, unhoused, political marginalization. And let's cap off everything with the blurred lines between work and the personal life with remote working. Hey, Mom, I need milk, as I'm making a salient point in my Zoom meeting, and not to be outdone with my six-toed cat walking behind me. Because she doesn't want to be left out, right? And we're doing all of this, navigating with no GPS and no map. And anybody relate to this? And through it all, we're channeling our foremothers. Remember I told you about my granny? Little woman just like this. I come from a long line of strong women. Actually, no, resilient women. And we handled our business in yoga pants. In short, we rode the whirlwind, but we did not inherit the wind. But that was then. So let me tell you, I needed to be connected. I needed to find a plug. I needed a grounding that helped, I needed to be sort of connected to my true north. And for me, it was and is the sorority of the Artichokes, and chokes for short. And I know you're wondering at this ripe old hour why artichokes, I'm gonna tell you. And an artichoke is a thistle. It's a flowering plant characterized by prickly leaves. You following me? And the outermost layers tend to be the toughest, and the leaves get softer as you get closer until the center, until eventually you reach the heart. These women, primarily women, were my touchstones. And I for them, where we could simply unhook and be. And our communications were simple and clear like the bat signal. Oh, girl, I simply can't with these people. True. How you living? Are you fed? Are you watered? Girl, did you take that medication? You're looking kind of ashy. Come on now. And we would remind our sister friend that she mattered to us. And we knew we had to gather around and surround our friend to remind her, as Mother Maya reminds us, you may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. We did what was done for generations before. We did for each other until we could do for ourselves. We spoke each other back. We prayed each other back. We laughed each other back. We stroked our brows and reminded us that we were in our season. And in doing so, reminded ourselves That's what I was ready, emotionally ready to receive, to help me rejuvenate, to be reborn, to take a step forward, to find a way out of no way. We were the shelter until one of us, any of us, could lift our face to the sun. And so I started to use the word strong, and I've moved away from that self-characterization of strong, especially as it pertains to Black women and women of color, because we have become sort of a trope equivalent to being the superwoman. And I prefer the word resilient. Now, you're going to tell me it's semantics, and it's too late. I'm not going to quibble. Just go with me for now. I'm going to prefer the word resilient because resilient means that I am adapting and I am thriving, and I'm thriving well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, and stress. Resiliency defines my outlook and my response. So women, and I'm going to put we are sometimes misperceived as cold and mean, aggressive. I know I have been characterized as combative simply because I refuse to be disrespected, mistreated, taken for granted, but you know what, that's okay. Because you know what, I like me. Your validation is not necessary. And in fact, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I love me. And while I'm at it, I think we've heard some of it here tonight, most of it through my sister friends back here. Folks will be happy as long as you don't rock the boat. But I'm gonna tell you here tonight, this morning, this evening, wherever we are, we're gonna challenge the status quo. Because if you never ask, the answer will always going to be no. Because as my gran used to tell me, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. It's true. If I don't step forward, I remain in the same position. And when I start standing up, when you start standing up and saying, this is not working for me, somehow I become the problem. Oh, get over yourself. We must find the courage, find the courage to leave the table when respect is no longer being served. So some people are never going to clap for you. I've heard this tonight. They're not going to clap for you. Win anyway. Clap for your own self. Clap. Surround yourself with those allies who will allow you to practice your grace, dignity, and the importance of learning how to cultivate yourself, allowing you to come into your growing season, to act with selfishness. That's the self-care I'm talking about, that allows you to breathe, to exhale, to rest, to grow. We're going to rinse and repeat. Beloveds, we are constantly ripping and running and tearing and hithering and yondering, right? And we don't give ourselves the time to rejuvenate, the time to get our minds and body the permission to rest. But I have said time and time again, rest is a form of prayer and meditation because we are listening to our bodies, we are listening to our minds, we are listening to the Spirit. Remember how Simone and Serena and Naomi were called out of their names because, that's for a different day and a different discussion. Come on now. Is it a different day? Oh. That's for the after party. So now I say to myself, out loud to you, what kind of practices or habits am I going to nourish my heart and my soul to strengthen me and my mind? People, friends, please use those Sephora points. What you holding on to them for? I know. Come on, raise your hands. You got those Sephora points, don't you? I know, because I do too. And, social media, let me tell you something. Unfriend, unfollow, mute, block, delete. Do you know how much weight I lost and how much peace I gained when I did all of that? Woo, praise him. What is the one thing that you can let go from your life so you can make room for something or someone that matters more? What is that thing that can bring you the peace and the joy that passes all understanding? And by the way, I see a colleague here, so I know she has heard me say this time and time again. You do know that no is a complete sentence. No need to feel obligated to offer up an explanation to justify this response. No, N-O. And no is no in practically every language. So if you are multilingual, woo, you're good. Right? We know that there are people who want to, as my gran used to say, live light and weigh heavy. I tell you, we people from the islands, Trinidad, we good. We are good. That's self-explanatory, living light and weighing heavy. But you can't do for others if you are broken, tired, and exhausted. So I'm learning to reclaim my time. And my time is to sing, dance, do nothing, binge watch, Netflix or prom, doesn't really matter. Do things that align with my soul, my spirit, right? For my purpose and my season. And as Mary J. reminds us, I know you know, sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and say, what? Good morning, gorgeous. Because it is well with my soul. Good night.